Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Don't Starve Together video. So it's me again, Ryan, and today we're going to be looking at late game food sources. So I already talked in at least 3 videos about early game food sources, about how to get them, what to make in the crock pot with them, what ingredients you need. But today we'll be looking at more late game food sources. Now, from my understanding, there's early game, mid game, and late game food sources, but we're literally going to be looking only at late game food sources. Maybe I'll talk about it to another video about mid game food sources, because there is a difference in the state where you're in the game and what foods you can actually get. But like I said, let's get on with the video for the late game food sources. Now, what differentiates early game and late game food sources? For me, it's three simple things. It's time saving, accessibility, and more than just a food source. Now, time saving is you want when you're in the late game, you don't want to be bothered by getting food that's too long to get, hard to get. You want to get your food fast because you have other things to do. You know what I mean? And there's so many other food sources out there that you can get easily or in mass quantities, and you can also use the Bee Queen wraps to keep your foods from ever spoiling. So whenever you have that main food source that you're gonna want to have, you can just mass produce that and do other things with your life. Accessibility. It needs to be pretty easy, like I said, not only in time wise, but also like just getting it in general. You don't want to risk your life every time just to get a specific food source that's the food source you adore. You want to get something that's great, like on stat wise, but also that's easy to get. And like I said, uh, and the final point, more than just a food source, like it tells you everything about a late game food source, what it needs to be. Well, a late game food needs to be not just a food source. It needs to be a health source. It needs to be a sanity source. It can be even a heat or a cold source. You know what I mean? It can be a multiple of things, and that's what it should be. It should not just be a normal, ordinary food that just gives you hunger but no health and no sanity. You want to have like a balance, or you want to have a good hunger and health and good sanity food that you can always have on hand, and that's like the balance you can have. And in the early game, you just take whatever you can get, but now you can actually like get the stuff you actually need and the actual good stuff that's actually going to feed you and heal you and keep your sanity up. Now, these are my 5 foods that I suggest for late game. Now, there's so many food sources out there. Like I said, I chose these personally because these are my favorites that I use in my late game playthroughs. And I would say late game, these, like I said, are probably your best options. And but don't forget, there's tons of options out there. So these are not the only ones, but these are the ones I chose. So the first one we have Pyorgi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that not well. So these things are actually quite really good. They're not too hard to make. They give you good health. They give you good sanity. They give you good hunger. Maybe not too much sanity, but for the health wise that it gives you and how easy it is to make, it's really simple. Um, for honey ham, it's 2 honey, 1 monster meat, and 1 meat. That's the recipe I use. There's probably simpler ones out there, but that's just a recipe that I remember by heart, and that's what I always use. And honey ham, honestly, is also another great food source. It also gives you heat, so that's an added bonus. A lot of these food sources give you heat, like turkey dinner and also meat stew. They all give you heat sources, which is always a bonus that you can have. But the main fact is that honey ham is a great like hunger filling and also a good health. Um, Turkey dinner, very simple to get. You're gonna have not a lot of this in mass quantities, but it's still something very simple. You can have your turkey farm and just get tons of turkeys, so you can get tons of turkey dinners. And my friends, my new player friends, whenever we play and I give them a turkey dinner, they're always like amazed at how good it is because I just like it in general too. And now we have bacon and eggs. So this is the fourth one on our list. Bacon and eggs. It requires 2 eggs and it requires 1 big meat and 1 small meat. So I would just suggest putting 1 morsel and 1 monster meat, and it'll give you bacon and eggs. And for the eggs, you can just transform monster meat into eggs with using the birdcage. And bacon and eggs is another simple food. You just need meat. Monster meat is so easy to get in the late game with your spider farms, and if you have and honestly, bacon and eggs could be more of like a mid-game food source because in the late game you can like make pig farms. to get big meat, so it would be just better to get honey ham, because with honey ham also honey, it becomes an abundant resource that's super easy to collect. But I still, if you still want variety in your food sources, bacon eggs could be good. But meaty soup, I mean honey ham, kind of beats it in this category because both of them are healing and hunger sources. But honey ham's a little bit better, I believe, if you have the structure for it, the honey structure, the pig farms, all that kind of stuff. Now the last one's a little bit different. This is just a massive. This is like 150 hunger. It's a mass injection of hunger into your system. But like I said, the problem with these kind of food sources is that they don't give you sanity or health. But I'm still suggesting it. And if you want to make this, it's one. It's if I recall, it's one monster meat, one big meat, and two morsels, and it will give you a meaty stew. That's the recipe I remember. Like I said, this food source is a little weird because of it only gives you hunger. However, if you're a character like Wolfgang or that has more hunger than the 150 limit, this is actually a great source if you just need to fill up in one shot. If you know if you're not needing sanity because you have a like your Tamo Shanter, and you're not needing health because you have healing glands, you have other stuff to heal yourself up with, or that you're already full and you're not going to be fighting that day, you can just pop a meaty stew and you're going to be fine for the rest of the day, because 150 hunger lasts extremely long, and it can last even until your second day, I believe. 150. I think a normal character takes like 75 hunger per day or something like that, and so it can last even 2 days technically. If I but in general, just know that meaty stew is incredible, but only you should only use it on characters that can actually use it, because that's a lot of meat. So make sure to have a character like Wolfgang's a great example. There's other characters out there, I think, that have above 150 hunger, so they can be also great characters to use with this. Um, but if they do not have above 150, I don't really suggest it, unless you're able to really count when you have zero hunger to use it, to make sure you don't waste any nutriments from the food source. So these are my 5 foods that I'm suggesting, but I do have other ones to suggest, and these two. I didn't really talk about sanity foods, so these are more interesting sanity foods that maybe are a little harder to get. I'm going to be real with you guys. Usually late game, people take mushrooms, green mushrooms, cook green mushrooms the whole way. They don't use anything else for sanity pretty much, unless you want to diversify like here. So these are interesting foods because it's not only they're a little harder to get, but they are kind of worth it, I believe personally. And I love to try to like change things up to not keep the game interesting. Now for jelly salad, you're gonna need to go kill some lure plants. So you can set up a lure plant farm, which is pretty simple, and you can farm their meat, which is a special kind of meat, and you can also then you can make your salad right here. That's gonna give you an extreme amount of sanity. Also, ice cream. The ice cream is another great sanity source, but it's a little harder to get. You do need honey farm, and you also need to get milk, which is electric milk, which you need to go electrify vault goats in the Oasis Desert, which can cause problems for newer players that don't know how to kite or how to fight, because you do need to kill them. You also need a eye umbrella, so it's a lot more complicated to get electric milk. But if you can get like mass quantities of it, like in shots, like you just don't go for one electric milk, you go for like 5 or 6, depending on the herd you have. And these are two interesting food sources. If not, I wanted to talk also what you should not make, and this counts for a little bit of like all the sections: late game, mid game, early game. It's all of the above. It's you should just never make these kind of foods, and there's a lot of probably other foods that are really not good and are like a lot better used on other foods, their resources. But we're gonna talk about these three. Mandrake soup, you should never make this, because the mandrake soup, you should just use the mandrake for pan flutes, in my opinion. So you should really not make mandrake soup. It's not worth the price you're paying, because mandrakes do not respawn. You only get a set amount of them per world. Guacamole, just the stats are horrible. The effort you take to go kill a mole just to get this, it's awful. You just use the morsel to in a meaty stew, the morsel in a bacon and egg, something a lot more productive. And the last one is kebabs. Kebabs are just a downgrade of um, of meatballs, and they take more meat. I remember. I think like you need like two morsels, three morsels, and a stick, something like that. Stupid. Just put yourself one morsel and three ice, and you get meatballs, which is double the hunger of this thing. You do not make kebabs. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I've not been posting a lot recently, and I'm sad about it. It's just that I've been a lot very busy these days with my work and all that. But new videos are coming up really soon. I'm going to try to make tons of them now because actually have free time this week. So I'm going to try to make a couple of videos in advance to make sure that there's no gap in content like we had in the last 2 weeks that I didn't post anything. So thank you for all my new subscribers. I also got my video up to 2.5k, which is incredible. And I'm happy that you guys enjoy this simple format of presenting. I know it's not incredible. I would rather even maybe do like gameplay content, but my computer's not the best, and I just rather have straight content for you guys, so you guys learn the game and have actual fun, than seeing a guy lag on screen trying to explain something and not it working correctly, if you understand what I mean. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!